Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Continuing with the teachings of Lord Kapila. Here he says, those who are envious, dvishataha parakaye, envious of others, another's body, then maninaha binnadarshinaha. Maninaha means offering respect. Though those living entities may offer respect to the deity form of the Lord in the temple, if they are inimical towards others and they are baddhavairasya. Baddhavairasya means inimical towards others. Bhuteshu baddhavairasya namanaha shantim richati. They cannot live peacefully or they never attain peace of mind. So if at all we want peace of mind, so here is a formula. Don't be envious of others. Though you may be involved in worshipping the deity form of the Lord in the temple, engaged in devotional service, if we continue our inimical behavior, being envious of others, then one cannot remain peaceful. So in the purport, many points Srila Prabhupada points out. Okay, one by one let us take up. One thing is about Jiva Himsa. A devotee should be free from all kinds of Jiva Himsa, violence committed. So some people may argue that even devotees, we may say we are not killing animals for our foodstuff, but still you also eat vegetables. So Prabhupada argues here how we may take some leaves, vegetables, twigs, and we are not keen in taking away its life. But sometimes it may happen that, okay, life is taken, but still, that's why the procedure is given. Then whatever category, minimum violence. So these details in the earlier purports also we had seen. With minimum violence, we offer to the Lord and we accept. And then the story of Shivananda Sena. How Shivananda Sena, a great devotee of Lord Chaitanya, delivered a dog by feeding him prasada. So we have heard this story from the Chaitanya Charitamrita. How Shivananda Sena, he became an instrument in the deliverance of a dog through Lord Chaitanya. So this Shivananda Sena, who was like taking group of devotees from Bengal to Orissa every year to attend the Rath Yatra at Jagannath Puri. So once it so happened that one dog started following them. So here we need to notice and observe how it's not that Shivananda Sena was calling all the dogs and taking with him, or calling all the dogs and feeding them. Especially, like say sometimes this accusation is there. Like devotees, when we preach to certain category in the society, only you take care of them, only for rich people, only for this category of people, others are neglected. No, just like Shivananda Sena, of course, here Prabhupada says one thing. In human society, it is feasible that all living entities can be enlightened with Krishna consciousness. It's only in human society. But animals, in other ways, we can show them mercy, just like the way Shivananda Sena did. So the dog was also one particular dog, it was following them. So he started giving it food, taking care. He took charge of it. Once he took charge of the dog, later they wanted to cross over a river in continuing their journey. And the boatman, he says, no, I can't allow dog to come inside my boat. It's only for human beings. Dogs and all cannot enter. What to do? They have to cross the water, river and then go. So Shivananda Sena induced the boatman that I'll pay you double the fare. Allow this dog to come along with us. Then the boatman agreed. So double the ticket charge he paid for the dog and took him along with him. And then one fine day, Shivananda Sena got stuck up with some toll collector and he reached late towards where other devotees, he had sent them to go ahead further, and he got stuck up somewhere with some work. And when he comes later, so already devotees, everyone had taken their dinner, night time, and so they also arranged dinner for him. He sat down, and before accepting his dinner, he asked, has the dog been given prasadam? Has it been fed? So all his assistants, they told, dog, no, we forgot. It's not there. So he sent 10 men to go and search for the dog. And everyone went. Already it was night time, but nobody could find that dog. So on that day, Shivananda Sena fasted. He did not take his dinner because the dog was not being fed. So this was how the way a devotee, once it has come in touch with him, he has taken charge of it, this is the way he took care of that dog. So likewise, devotees, we may preach to certain category of people, certain class of people, or our focus may be towards one place, but Krishna consciousness is available, we offer to everyone in general. This chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra, this prasadam, kirtan, japa, the philosophy is open for everybody. But in furthering the mission of our spiritual master, expanding the organization, we may have some plans to focus on particular categories in the society. But otherwise, this Krishna consciousness is meant for everyone. As Prabhupada says here, all human beings, in human society, it is feasible that all living entities can be enlightened with Krishna consciousness. So being born as human beings means they are eligible to be given Krishna consciousness, to take up to Krishna consciousness. So this conviction a devotee should have. This is another point. And then Bhuteshu Baddha Vairasya and Dvishataha Parakaye, being inimical towards others. So when we say envy, like say in the Bhagavatam, in other Vedic literatures, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, a lot of examples have been given there. How certain men who are envious of others, especially of devotees, what is the end result they meet? Never, whoever is envious, they find peace of mind in their life. Never their endeavors will be ultimately successful. Always it will end in some miserable condition, in some distressful condition only. We find this in the case of Srivas Thakur and Gopala Chapala. This Gopala Chapala was envious of Srivas Thakur. He kept some meat, liquor and few other things, untouchable things in front of his door, so that to show to people that Srivas Thakur, he claims to be a devotee, but he is not of that caliber. So in this way he tried to put him down. But later he was attacked with leprosy and he had to suffer very much. And then we see the case of Ramachandra Khan being envious of Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur was such a saintly person, such a noble character, but still not able to withstand the name and fame, the glory which Haridas Thakur was receiving among the mass of people. This Ramachandra Khan could not tolerate that. So he arranged for a prostitute to belittle or defame Haridas Thakur. But even that was a failure. Haridas Thakur came out victorious in that test. But later Ramachandra Khan, his entire family, everything was taken away later by one Muslim minister came to his village. They practically went rampant and massacred everyone, and the entire village was barren later. And his house especially, it was like the Muslim minister, he stayed there and their cows were killed and all obnoxious things happened there, and he went away imprisoning Ramachandra Khan and his entire family. So this episode we see in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And one more, especially in the Mahabharata, Shukadeva Goswami describes elaborately how the Rajasuya sacrifice was being conducted by Maharaja Yudhishthira, assisted by all of his brothers. And wonderfully the description is given. And at the end he says, all the people who had arrived there, everyone were very happy. They were glorifying Maharaja Yudhishthira, all the Pandavas, for wonderfully conducting that ceremony. They were very happy, very much pleased with the offerings, gifts, everything being given to them. But one person, he was unhappy. He was disturbed in mind, looking at the opulence, looking at the way the Rajasuya sacrifice was being performed and the glory of Maharaja Yudhishthira. One person could not tolerate this. Who was that? Duryodhana. Yes. So immediately Parikshit Maharaj asks, what happened? Why Duryodhana was envious? Everyone was so happy, so glad, everyone was very pleased. But for Duryodhana. Then Shukadeva Goswami goes on explaining wonderfully the events which conspired or which took place, which led to great enmity between the two factions of the Kuru dynasty. So Maharaja Yudhishthira, he arranged whatever, he planned this Rajasuya sacrifice. His intent was to glorify Lord Krishna, offering him the Agra Puja. So that was the intent, desire what he had. And for that, elaborate arrangements were made. All the four brothers went in four directions and conquered over different kings who were envious and all. And they came back with a lot of tribute, and great brahmanas, big sages, they were all invited, and they took charge of conducting those rituals. And invitation was sent across to all the rulers, not only of this planet but of other planets too. So everyone came there, arrived there, and voluntarily many of the great kings, they took up a voluntary like some service in charge of various departments to assist Maharaja Yudhishthira to please him in conducting that sacrifice. And then when all of these things opulently everything were done, on the final day, on the day of the bath of Avabrita Snana, the end of the rituals, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he offered all the invited guests with nice clothing, jewelry, and they took bath in the Ganges, and nicely they sported there, and a big retinue, ceremoniously with all kettle drums beating, they went towards the river. And it's said how even the Devatas standing in the sky, they showered flowers on Maharaja Yudhishthira. Very opulently, very gloriously, all bedecked with nice garments and nice jewelry, smeared with sandalwood pulp and garlands, and very opulently it was being conducted, and a final ceremony took place. And it is said how all the people who came there, everyone, they told Maharaj that we leave, and they took leave. And his close aides, Maharaja Yudhishthira, he was very anxious not to allow of their separation. So they continued to stay there for some more days, including Lord Krishna. He did not allow Lord Krishna to go immediately. When Krishna agreed for that, he sent his son Samba along with other ministers back to Dwaraka. He, along with his wife, he stayed back there for some more days. And all of these things are going on. And there, this description is given. One fine day, I'll read those verses, beautiful verses. Ekadanta pure tasya Viksha Duryodhana Shriyam Atapyat Rajasuyasya Mahitvam Chachyutatmanaha. These ceremonies were going on and it got concluded. So this Duryodhana, he, one fine day, especially he saw like Yudhishthira Maharaj sitting on the throne and all his associates sitting along with him, including Krishna also, very opulently. And Draupadi, she was serving her husbands with all the heavenly opulence available in that palace, especially built by Maya Danava. And looking at all of these things, Yudhishthira Maharaj appeared as if like Brahma, the creator of this universe, opulently sitting along with all his attendants. And then looking at all of these things, Tatra Duryodhano Mani Parito Bhratrabir Nrupa Kiritamali Nyavashad Asihasta Kshipan Risha. This Duryodhana, Mani, that is very proud, he came there. Parito Bhratrabir Saha, along with all of his brothers, he came. Kiritamali Nyavishad, he entered the palace where Yudhishthira Maharaj and all the others were there. Asihastaha, holding one sword in his hand. Kshipan Drusha, in an angry mood, scolding the doorkeepers there. So there, Prabhupada writes, proud Duryodhana, holding a sword in his hand and wearing a crown and necklace, angrily went into the palace in the company of his brothers. O king, he insulting the doorkeepers as he entered. Srila Prabhupada writes there, that this Duryodhana was always in an envious and angry mood, and therefore on a slight provocation he spoke sharply with the doorkeepers and became angry. See, this is another point we should note. People who are very envious, little slight provocation, they become angry, immediately they blast and whatever. This is how it will explode. So Duryodhana was like that. So on a slight provocation he spoke sharply with the doorkeepers and became angry. And then when he continued to enter the palace and started coming inside, so that palace especially, it was built by Maya Danava, especially who did not know the few tricks of the things related to there, they would be amazed and bewildered. So some places he went, it appeared as if some water is there, and he lifted his cloth, edge of the cloth, it should not get wet, but actually water was not there. And little ahead he goes, and he just walked past, but actually there was water and he fell inside the water. And there was a commotion there, everyone came there to see, and all the women in the palace from the balconies and many other princes, and especially Bhima, they started laughing loudly looking at the plight of Duryodhana having fallen in the water. Maharaja Yudhishthira tried to console them, not to stop them from whatever laughing, but no one could. And then it is said how this Duryodhana, without speaking a word, in an angry mood, he just left off to Hastinapura from Indraprastha. So that was the point wherein the great Brahmanas who had assembled there, they became very perturbed in looking at this, and they ha-ha-kara, whatever, what happened? Everyone are so pleased, very happy with Maharaja Yudhishthira's whatever behavior, so much respectful he was, and everything got concluded so nicely. But this incident became the trigger for Duryodhana, and already by nature he was envious, but that moment, it was momentous, and the way he left the palace of Yudhishthira and went back to Hastinapura without speaking a word, bowing whatever, his head lowered in an angry mood, feeling insulted, and the rest we hear the later what all happened. He planned for that gambling match, took away the property, insulted their wife Draupadi, and finally, after all of these things, 13 years though Duryodhana ruled over all the Pandavas, they were in the exile in the forest, but after that, the 18 days fratricidal war of Kurukshetra decided the fate of Duryodhana. Duryodhana, along with all of his brothers, his friends, his relatives, near and dear ones, everyone practically, they were annihilated. So this was the result. So a very great lesson we need to learn from this. If at all we maintain enmity towards others, being envious of others, today or later, we'll be the sufferers. As Prabhupada says here, first and foremost thing is, one cannot remain peaceful. He will not have peace of mind if a person is envious of others. And how this enmity comes? It originates from comparison. When we compare with others, another person has something more than me, we become envious. If he is having something lesser than me, we become proud. So we need to, as devotees, you should be very careful, understand this, and if at all, let's say if we are continuously in touch with the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, if we are fully aware of the concepts of our duty, dharma, and we are clear with the concepts of, like say, karma, our past karma, happiness, distress, it may be opulence, position, possessions. These are all whatever comes to a person based on his previous activities. Janma, Aishwarya, Shruta, Shri, it may be intelligence, some talent or some position, all of these things, all this whatever ups and downs will be there. Based on a person's previous karma, all of those things will be there. Today, whatever it has taken fruit and he is having that, I may not be having. The situation will not be the same. Tomorrow, it may be reversed. So based on individuals' karma, all of these things comes and goes. So why we need to worry? Why we need to be envious of others? No, not at all. And then this understanding of, like say, if we think, Prabhupada uses this terminology, I am the Lord of all I survey. I am the master. Everyone should listen to me. I am the proprietor, ownership, all of these things. That's why this verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Trinadapi Sunichena. If at all we think I am the Lord or the master of all I survey, we should remember Jivera Swarupahaya Nitya Krishna Dasa. I am not the Lord. I am the servant, servant of the servant of Krishna. And then if at all we think we are some proprietors, we own something, no, nothing belongs to us. Everything is temporarily given, and at any given point of time, it may be taken away from us. And then, if we start thinking, I am the best of all, I am something superior, Pratishtha, we should consider Trinadapi Sunichena. I am the lowest, lower than the blade of grass. And sometimes this argument also comes. I will not hurt others, but if others hurt me, I will not keep quiet. I will take action. Who are we to take that? Krishna is there, laws of karma he has created. It will be taken care. We are not the givers of judgment. We are not the executors of punishment. No, we don't have any right unless it is authorized to us. We can't do that. So if at all unduly other person is hurting us, what's the instruction given to us? Tarorapi sahishnuna. We have to tolerate. Tolerate, and as a matter of duty, do the needful, whatever, going and informing or take necessary action as per the rules and regulations or constitution of one's country. So this is what as a matter of duty we may do, but not otherwise we are not entitled or we are not authorized to take action against others, even though we may be hurt by the actions, words of others. So if we can stick on to these principles, the philosophy, if we are thorough with, then we may not be disturbed with being whatever envious or being proud, all of these things. So that's what we should be aware as devotees, because these things, even though, as Kapila Muni says here, Bhute Dvishataha Parakaye Mam Manino, though that person, he may be offering respects to the Supreme Lord, he may be involved in worshipping the deity in the temple, but if he continues to be envious of others, then he will never be peaceful. He will not have peace of mind. He cannot advance in his spiritual life. We'll end with this. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.